Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for one of my updates on the Pro Street group build that Dylan is putting on at N.Y.S. Modeling. I have been busy, so I finally got some color on the 55, and I've got the ride height set, and I have actually done some work with the engine a little bit. So I'll show you what I got so far. So this we're in color. There's the ride height. If I can get down low enough. And I'm pretty happy with that. The colors that you see are Gravity Colors Olympic White for the top, and Splash Paints Root Beer Candy. The Root Beer Candy has about 6 coats on it. The wheels are stock. I stripped them, the chrome, and I'm not really happy with those. So if any of you have any recommendations, I'd certainly be open to any. I've been looking around for Pro Street rims that I could buy, and I've not found any I've been happy with. But if any of you have any recommendations, put it in the comments below. I appreciate that. So the cross member that comes across the front through here is literally on the ground almost. It's like millimeters from the ground. So that's as low as I could get that front end. And the back wheels are resting in the tub, and that's as low as I could get those. So the attitude of the car and the height of the car, in my opinion, matches what I'm looking for. So one of the things that was disappointing when I mocked up the engine is I have to cut the hood. So I had to do that to the hood. I'm really happy with that color. That is a nice, rich color. I really am happy with that. One of the things I'll tell you about splash paints is it's an automotive paint and it's aggressive. So I highly recommend that, one, you watch your health when you're using that paint, and you get a respirator. I have actually sprayed this paint one time without a respirator, and I got blisters on the roof of my mouth. So that's how caustic that stuff is. The other thing I will tell you about splash paints is because it's aggressive, it will attack primers, and you have to use a primer that has some grit to it. You can't use like a Tamiya primer because it's too light. I made the mistake of using a Mr. Surfacer 1500 with it before, and that's just too fine of a primer. You need an automotive primer. So this is what I went to, and this primer here actually, if you haven't used it, it sands silky smooth. It's really a nice primer, and I really am a fan of the nozzle on it. So, but I'm finding it difficult to find. So I would recommend that primer or something similar to that. And Splash makes their own primer too, so you could go with them. But I've really liked the Splash paints, and I really like how they've come out on all my builds that I've used them on. Gravity Colors is good too, and Tamiya paint lays down so smooth. that I highly recommend that paint as well. So, but I wanted to show you some of the things that I did on the front end, if I can. Let's see if I can. I'm gonna mess up my mock-up. So I'm one-handed here, so give me a second here and see if I can pull this apart. One of the things I did on this suspension is based on the recommendation of Fred Henry Pappy over at West Georgia Rods and Customs. He recommended that you make pinion arms out of tubing. So I did that, and as you can see, I've added some styrene in here to raise this A-arm up so that I can get more height and get it lower. I'm really happy with that. And I'm really happy with how this paint has come out, and I'll be working on the interior. The interior is going to be a tan, Testors enamel tan, and semi-gloss black. And if I can't find a substitute for these wheels, God, I just don't like those wheels. I'm going to outclad these, probably a polished aluminum or something of that nature. One of the things I learned recently from Mark Bastian, I don't know if I'm saying his last name right. He's got a channel on YouTube, and he's a really good builder. He's an award-winning builder. And one of the things that he has said with Alclad is that back in the day when they first came out, they recommended that you use a Testors gloss black for the base when you wanted to get a chrome or a shiny surface. So I'm gonna try that and see if that works, because I haven't been really impressed with the finish that I get with Alclad's gloss black. It's a good gloss black, but I just don't get that good of a finish out of it for whatever reason. One of the other things is, here's the engine parts. I've put the block together. I'll be using a lot of the parts off of the I'm missing there we go. I'm using pretty much the entire engine off of the Chevelle, the 396 big block. And then what I'll do is I'll fabricate a gear shift knob and those types of things on the interior. And another thing I'm getting rid of, I went out and bought an aftermarket steering wheel kit from Detail Master that I'll be using instead of the big steering wheel that comes in the 55. So those are the things that I have planned for this car, and I'm moving slowly but surely. And hopefully I'll have another update for you guys in the very near future. I'm gonna clear this car, and then I'm gonna put bare metal foil on it, and then I'm gonna put the details on the outside, and we'll go from there. So happy building, everybody, and I really enjoy seeing everybody's updates. And again, I want to thank Fred Henry for the inspiration of this car, and some of the tips and tricks that he provided. They have been, I'll just say that I couldn't do it without you, Fred. Appreciate it. Thank you. You guys have a good night, and look forward to seeing you soon.